Hey guys, it's Rogaway here, and I am back with another series of tutorials. And today we are looking at how to add some sort of a shooting mechanism to our game. And I'm still using this Mario file, so you can continue on with this if you'd like. But what I did is I took out the sound, the music, because I found it was just annoying when I was editing to hear the song every single time I tested it. So let's get right into this. I'm going to do this in two parts. First thing you're going to need to know is how to create a class, and the second part you're going to have to know how to create an array. I'm going to explain why each of those are important in order to make this work. So first off, you want to find your fireball slash bullet slash whatever your character is going to shoot. And what I did is I just got this graphic here of a fireball. I just ripped it off online just so I could show you quickly. I'm going to just copy that. It's coming from Illustrator. It's a nice vector. I'm going to copy that. And in this file, I'm just going to make a layer. This is a temporary sort of layer. I'm just going to call it bullet. And I'm going to make sure everybody else is locked, and I'm going to just paste it into the center. And it's going to import, and I'm going to turn off maintain layers, and I'm just going to say OK. There it is. Use my transform tool, shrink it down. Okay, that is way too huge. So let's just zoom in here. And let's just shrink it down some more. That's looking pretty good, I think. Now, if you actually know Mario, the game, it bounces up and down. We're not going to do that. Also, if I wanted an animation in here, I could do that, but again, I'm not going to bother. So, first thing first, we're going to convert it to a symbol, as you have done many times before. It's going to be a movie clip. There is the most important little thing, this little advanced pull down we're going to use for this one. And let's just call this bullet, the symbol, let's call it bullet. And we are going to create, under advanced, we are going to export for ActionScript, and we are going to create a class. And the class is going to be called bullet. Okay? So you can see that that is what it's going to do. It's going to create a bullet, and let's set up a base class, and I'll explain what that is in a second. I'm surprised it actually didn't do it automatically for us here, but let's just put this flash dot display dot movie clip. Normally it does that automatically, so I'm not really sure why it didn't this time. I think it's because I didn't save, maybe. But we're going to hit OK. I'm going to explain what this is in a second, so hit OK. And you'll notice that in our library, where we've got our our bullet, you'll see that it has bullet under the linkage column, which is telling us that this movie clip is linked to this ActionScript file. All right? I'm going to show you what that means in a second. Let's go to File. Let's make sure we save our file. I'm going to put it to the desktop. I'm going to save it. And now I'm going to actually create or edit this ActionScript file, which is a class file. So in order to do that, I'm going to right-click. I'm going to go to Properties, or you can see I can just go straight to Edit Class, and it's going to ask, what do I want to edit it with? I'm going to use Animate, and I'm going to hit OK. Now, you'll notice that this opens up in a separate window altogether. You'll notice it's a separate tab. And we're just going to go and save this right away. Save as bullet, and it's going to save as an AS file, an ActionScript file. We're going to save it to the desktop. we now have Mario no sound and we have a bullet action script file. The reason we need to create a class for this is because we can't put the code into our main game. We need it to reference the code from this action script file. All right, that's really important, especially once we start adding more and more bullets. We want them to all have the same characteristics, and I'm going to show you how that works in a second. So you notice this looks a little different. It's a package, which means that this is all contained within this packaged file. We're going to import another set of commands that we're going to need, and we're going to get the flash events commands, which we have used before in our other action script file. And you'll notice that we see some new lingo here. We see that this is a public class. Okay, it's the public class bullet, and it extends a movie clip, which means that basically this class, okay, is linked. It's called bullet, but it extends the properties of the movie clip that it's attached to. And in this case, that is the bullet symbol in our other file. What public means is that we could actually use this class in our game file. All right, the fact that it says public means that we can access it from this game file. All right, and it starts us with a nice public function bullet already. It knows that we want to put something in here, so it starts us with a function right off the bat. And we're going to use a new listener here. We're going to put add event listener. If you remember from my other tutorial that a listener is like a radio station. It's sending out a signal, or sorry, more like a radar station. It's listening for something to happen. This is an event. And we're going to look for added to stage. All right? And what this is basically saying is that when the bullet enters the stage, we want it to do something inside of this ActionScript file. So when the bullet symbol is used on the stage of our game, this will play. All right, so when it is added to the stage, we're going to run the onAdd function. Okay, and I could have put anything here. I'm just going to call this the onAdd function. And I'm going to take this whole entire thing, copy it, and I'm going to paste it here. And now I'm going to create my function called onAdd. Now the onAdd function is an event. Okay, so onEvent, and the event that happened here was it was added to stage, it was detected, and so onAdd was basically activated. Now it's good practice that as soon as it has detected that the bullet has entered the stage, that we remove that listener so that it doesn't repeat over and over again. All right, we'll get errors if we keep creating new listeners. So we're going to remove the listener right away, and we're going to tell it to enter what we call the bullet loop, a function called bullet loop. Once again, I'm going to copy this whole entire thing, and I'm going to create the bullet loop now. Now, again, I can give it any name I want, but I chose bullet loop. Oops. We can take out this because it's not an event. It already happened, or it was already called from here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add a listener again. This one is one that we are familiar with. Okay, and it's going to be the event enter frame. Okay, and if you remember, An enter frame loop runs at whatever speed the game is at. So I think it checks 30 times per second. It's pretty quick. And we're going to call this bullet move. All right. Now, don't worry. I'm going to explain what this is all doing right away. So don't get confused. Don't get frustrated. Let's make one more copy. This time I'm copying this whole entire function, pasting it down here. This one is the bullet move that we just created here. This is what actually tells it what to do. And this is an event because it is referenced up here. All right, it's using this event. So when it enters the frame, now here's a new command. This dot x-axis will be plus equal, let's say 10. All right, this is a command that means that it's going to refer to whatever this is linked to. So this means that it's linked to the bullet. All right, going back to that. So let me explain how this works. First of all, the package runs. It imports all of these commands from these two libraries. It's a public class called bullet that extends the properties of the movie clip that we have back in our game. First thing we do is we put a function called bullet, and we are adding a listener. We are listening for the bullet to be added to the stage, meaning that at some point the bullet will get dropped on the stage, and as we can see, it's right here. If the bullet has been added to stage, then onAdd will play. OnAdd removes the added to stage listener because we already know it's there. Okay, so it got rid of it, and then it plays the bullet loop. The bullet loop, again, another public function, adds a listener for what's going to happen when the bullet has entered the frame. We already know it's on stage. We're going to run the bullet move. And the bullet move is an event that is telling this symbol, which is the bullet, to move 10 frames across the x-axis. So let's think about this for a second. What's going to happen? Well, this file, first of all, we have to save it. This file is telling it every single time the bullet is on the stage, it's going to move across the stage 10 frames at a time. We can change this to whatever we want. Very similar to the movement of our character and our background in the previous tutorial. So let's see if this actually works. All right, we know that our symbol has this file linked to it. We know we've got a bullet on the stage now. So if everything works according to plan, this bullet should travel across the stage without us having to put any code into the game. All right, it's actually referencing the code from the bullet AS file. So let's test it. Oh, and we got a major issue here. It's telling us that the public attribute can only be used inside of a package. Okay, well, we are inside of a package. It didn't like that very much. All right, it really didn't like that very much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take out the public functions. So let's just remove these. Okay. We're going to save it. The class is public, so that should work. But we don't necessarily need those public. So let's test that. Oh, and it says, oh, we got another problem. We have extra characters found at the end of the file. Oh, look at that. I missed one of those. Okay. These are the things you gotta look for. You know what, like, I should have known. I got a bunch of extra ones all over the place here. Hopefully you guys picked up on that and didn't have all these repeats that I do. Okay, So now let's give it a shot. Let's save that and let's test it here. We still got a problem. We need one more brace here. I closed this one, but I forgot to close the package. This is embarrassing, actually, that having all these problems in the tutorial. One more time. Success! Okay, let's try. That took forever. Let's do that again. So control test, watch the fireball travels across the screen. Now, just to show you that this works really well, if I drag more copies of my bullets out, say I have bullets all over the place, they should all travel across the stage because they're all linked to that same ActionScript file. So let's test it. Look at all those bullets. There we go. Okay, so it works good. I'm just going to get rid of all of these. And actually now that I have it set up, I can get rid of this original one too, because we want Mario to actually generate and create a bullet every time we hit a certain key. That's the whole point of what we're trying to do here, is we're trying to create a class where he is going to generate or create a bullet every time we hit a key. And that will be in our next video, so stay tuned.